Welcome back to Misery Sports Co., a leading provider of advanced analytics and disappointment, regret, and long-term fan trauma.
Here, we leverage a proprietary blend of hindsight, overreaction, and unpaid labor to audit the decisions that keep teams stuck in neutral, emphasis on the unpaid part.
That's right. In our last deep dive, we conducted a full post-mortem on the 1990s Buffalo Bills. 4 straight Super Bowl appearances, 0 championships, and an enduring contribution to the field of existential dread.
This week, we're pivoting back to current operations, identifying inefficiencies, misaligned strategies, and value destruction at the organizational level, all of that good stuff.
But before we jump into our first segment, let's have a word from our first sponsor.
This spring on NBC, it's the game show that's sweeping the nation for folks young and old, men and women, something that will bring your whole family together. From the creators of Wheel of Fortune and one of the writers of the Steve Wilkos Show comes Name That Stoops. Every week, 3 lucky contestants compete to put their knowledge to the test on our favorite football royal family, answering questions like, which Stoops is part of the Texas Longhorns coaching staff? That's right, it's Mark. Or real tricky ones like, which Stoops is the special teams coordinator at Youngstown State? If you answered Ron, you're wrong, because that's the dad. It's Ron Jr. Bonus points if you can remember the head coach of Youngstown State. That's right. It's Bo Pelini. Tune in next week when our reigning champ has to answer which Stoop has the longest controversies tab on their Wikipedia page, all on Name That Stoops.
Thank you so much for that sponsorship. Great show. Make sure that you tune in. I clearly failed. One of our first episodes, I mixed them up, so I would not do well.
They're
with
easy
this
to
game
mix
show,
up, and there's so many of them. There's ones we don't even know about.
All right, let's circle back and open up this week's performance review.
For compliance purposes, this is where we evaluate which organizations are meeting expectations
and which ones are aggressively redefining failure in a new and innovative way. Trevor, what have you got for us this week?
Well, this week, not much to report on the Titans, except that we officially have new jerseys. And I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see them, but it's been a pretty well-received jersey. What'd you think of it when you saw it?
Love the baby blue. A little on the fence about the logo. I love the original Titans logo. Like, it brings me back to early 2000s, but I understand. And they didn't change it substantially, but it was enough for me to be like, this is different. But love the jerseys. They're awesome.
The jerseys are great. It's a slightly different blue than the Oilers blue, but it's very much that baby blue. It pops. It's great. I was really hoping that they would go with red face masks, but the more that I've sat with it, I think I'm on board with what they're doing. But I agree with the logo. I'm still not in love with it because it's white in that baby blue, and it's just they took off the flames of what we had, basically.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm still sitting with it. We'll see, but everybody is hyped and amped. And the best part, Zach, is that Houston Texans fans are so pissed because they're like, this is our heritage. It's like, no, that team moved to Nashville. We literally, the very first season, they were the Tennessee Oilers. So like, we literally played as the Oilers. That's our heritage. I'm sorry about that. But it's ours. And anything that makes them angry and upset, I'm here for. We've paid 28 players this free agency, so that does include some re-signing or some restructuring. But we've paid 28 players. We still have $78 million in cap space.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we've got some money to spend. We'll see how that goes. The Mavs are tanking well. Hooray! It's too painful to watch, so I haven't watched it. They did mess around and
Yeah, they weren't tanking on Sunday.
No, we were texting back and forth, and they lost to the Cavaliers the first game correctly.
Mhm.
I think that was on that Friday, and then the Sunday they played again, and just leave it to the Mavs to mess around. And who was the guy that you texted me about, the Yale kid? I don't even know his name. I couldn't tell you what his name is.
I don't remember, Trevor.
I'll look up by the end of this show. Yeah, he was just stroking it from three. One of the ugliest shots I've ever seen, but it was all dropping for them. We are up to the 6th spot in the Tankathon.
Okay.
So doing pretty good. And from what I understand, I'm not a college basketball guy, but I think there's 8 or 9 like really good prospects that you'd be happy to have any of those. So we're in a good position. On the misery sadness side, a quick aside, my Twitter algorithm keeps trying to shove Luka in my face. I'm not trying to see that. He's going off for the Lakers, nuclear. But I don't want to see that. Like, that makes me sad.
I watched his highlights from, I think it was last night, where he played the Rockets, and he was just torching them. He's flipped the switch. He's starting to care now. And I've noticed this with a lot of NBA teams. It's like the last 20 games or so, they're like, okay, we're going to start playing now. Yes. And he's unreal.
Yes. In 22 and 24, we had those kind of runs into the playoffs. And anytime there's a fan that he's picked out that he's like, after 3-pointers, will turn around and yell at, you know it's going to be a good night. So I get to watch
pointing
that.
At the whole crowd, Trevor. It was the city of Houston. Every time he did something, he was just turning to them and talking so much.
Miss him. That's great. I love it. I love seeing all that. I'm not miserable at all. The Stars are still winning, but they don't really fit the misery bill. So thanks to the Stars. How about you, Zach? What do you got this week?
Well, just a recent development. So we have March Madness starting today. Actually, it's Thursday, and first round, always exciting, super fun. Wouldn't you know it? The Ohio State Buckeyes were starting the tournament off at 12:15 today.
Yay!
And they had a back and forth affair with TCU. Ended up down 15 at halftime, clawed all the way back. They were up 4 or 5 points with 4 minutes to go and completely blew the game. So nice gut punch to start the day. Honestly, I just hate being the first game in March Madness. I would much prefer to be like Friday night where you get to enjoy all the games and then your hopes and dreams get dashed. It's not the first game of the tournament.
Yep.
Outside of the first 4, which was awesome, but to start Thursday, brutal.
That's tough. That's tough for the basket bucks. Tough way to go.
Yeah. But some shining stars, right? So the Blue Jackets are hanging in there.
Yes, they
got a game in hand.
Yeah.
And so if they win this game, I mean, they're number 1 in the wild card standings. So they have scratched and clawed their way back.
Let's go.
Really awesome story. Columbus Blue Jackets will be on our show at some point. They have a rough deep dive, but they're putting it together this year. A former Stars coach came in, has really lit a fire under the team, and they're doing great. So more to come there. Cavs got beat by the Mavs.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
we both lost. We both lost that one.
The Browns is the Browns, so we'll see. They signed a bunch of linemen. Looks like they're going to draft either a receiver or a lineman. They have 2 first-round picks. We'll cover that in April with the draft coming up. But, yeah, more to come with the Browns. We'll see.
Nice. Well, that wraps up this week's findings. Several organizations will be placed on watch lists and others on something that probably more closely resembles life support.
We'll continue to monitor performance indicators as the seasons progress and adjust expectations downward. But before we head to the mailroom, let's hear from our next sponsor. Have you ever hypothetically, allegedly committed a crime that makes headlines? Ray Lewis, hypothetically, I definitely didn't do it. Services teaches dramatic pauses, inspirational speeches, and slow motion exits. Services do not cover real-world consequences, viral meme creation, or the occasional reporter asking uncomfortable questions. All incidents are purely alleged.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray.
He didn't do it, Trevor.
He didn't. He definitely didn't do it. It's all alleged, and you can't nail him down for anything.
Hell no.
Spirit.
All right. Welcome to the mailroom. The legal has asked us to clarify that no actual mail is involved. We covered this last episode, but we can't say it legally.
Legally, it doesn't qualify as mail. It's not technically. I think we can get away with a mail-like product, but we're not allowed to say mail.
And
So,
Trevor, we haven't even asked the question why, but we can't.
We're just not allowed. Instead, we've sourced a collection of public comments, complaints, and emotionally compromised takes from the internet. Zach, what do you have for us?
All right, as mentioned, March Madness has started. We had the first 4 games in Dayton, Ohio, and so I found an awesome clip from Bleacher Report. Texas was in one of those games, very close game. They had an opportunity to hit the game winner. Charles Barkley and Dick Vitale, Dickie V, were on the call. God bless him. And this will really get you in the mood for March Madness.
I want you offensive rebound by Reaver. Crunch time here, down to 2. Mark for the lead. Oh, he hits another one. 1 second left. Mark puts Texas in front. What a
Wow.
I freaking love it.
What a treasure. What a treasure.
Yeah, he's still doing it. He fought cancer.
I can't believe he's around still, honestly.
Yeah.
That's incredible,
him,
man. Glad he's here.
Yeah, it's like Lee Corso in football. It's just
it's
one of those national treasures.
Or it's like
Lou Holtz.
but he's gone.
But he's gone.
Oh man.
We're not going down that rabbit hole. This week, the winner is from Barstool Sports. It was St. Patrick's Day this week, and if you have seen this clip, and it's a long clip, but I'm going to play the whole thing. It's a newscast from 20 years ago, Trevor.
Ooh, okay.
20.
All right.
So if you know this video, and if you know it, and our listeners, it's time for a prostate exam, guys and gals.
Oh boy. Okay.
Well, guys, right? Never mind.
Don't tell me you don't have one.
Probably guys.
It's time.
We don't judge. Here's Barstool Sports.
Well, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, crowds are coming by the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of Mobile say a leprechaun is picking up residents in their neighborhood. A leprechaun. NBC 15's Brian Johnson has more.
Curiosity leads to large crowds in Mobile's Crichton community. Many of you bring binoculars, camcorders, even camera phones to take pictures.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night. If you shine a light in its direction, it suddenly disappears. This amateur sketch resembles what many of you say the leprechaun looks like.
It's like 3
Others find it
blocks.
hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations for the image.
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
Could be a crackhead who got hold to the wrong stuff. And he told him to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
We're going to get down to the bottom of this. Yeah, still on there, guy. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, man.
This guy helping to direct traffic says he's prepared for his encounter with the leprechaun. He's suited up from head to toe.
This wars off spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute, which has been passed down from thousands of years ago from my great-great-grandfather who was Irish. He just came to help out.
Others just came to get lucky in hopes a pot of gold may be buried under this tree.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I want to know where the gold at. I want the gold. Give me the gold. I want the gold.
This is Brian Johnson, NBC
my
15 News.
Oh,
What a classic. Holy cow.
One of the OGs from YouTube. I mean, you're talking
Absolutely.
like early 2000s.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And news bloopers were a mainstay of classic YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big one.
One of the goats.
Yep.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Happy St. Patty's Day. Well, again, we keep saying this, but I really do want to emphasize we do not talk before the show about what we are presenting. So, kind of funny that you did that. So we're all familiar now with Dick Vitale. I've been meaning to play this clip for a couple weeks because I think it really applies to what we're doing here. This was a game against Kentucky and Florida, and Dick is talking about something that's near and dear to this show's heart.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You don't want to walk out of here thinking you got a moral victory. Moral victories don't count at this level of basketball.
Like hell they don't. What else is supposed to keep me going, Dick? I need a moral victory. But my tweet of the week came from at Deferred Walk On, who we just heard basketball game from Zach's clip. And so they were fake transcribing a portion of it. So I'll narrate each of the pieces. Charles Barkley. The NCAA is a bunch of scumbags. I have a fat ass. Dick Vitale. I just spoke at a funeral last week. Every person I know is dying. Brian Anderson. Longhorns by 5. So that's shout out to Deferred Walk On and shout out to Dickie V doing his thing. Good for him.
Legend.
Absolute legend. Well, that concludes this round of somewhat public input. Several contributors will not be invited back into the decision-making legal pending.
That's right. Others will be continue to be monitored as repeat sources of instability. Before we go to the next segment, Trevor, who's our next sponsor?
Hey, you. How's that DraftKings account looking? Did that 8-leg parlay, that octopus hit? Are you getting boat raced in your work bracket? Well, here's the help you need with Anderson Varejão's Reality Check fortune cookies, guaranteed to have a biting dose of wait the fuck up in every serving. Crack open a cookie and read things like, "You're bad at this," or "Just because you watch this Atlantic 10 team warm up does not mean you can tell who's playing injured." And now get our special edition NFL draft cookies with fortunes like, "No, that 6th-round safety is not going to save your franchise. You're still a good 10 pieces away from average, Doug." Act now and one lucky customer will receive the first ever gold-plated fortune given to Anderson almost 20 years ago that read, "Hey, pass it to LeBron. Pass it back to LeBron, you genius." With Anderson Varejão's Reality Check fortune cookie.
That's too soon. Anderson Varejão, Cleveland Cavalier for life, I guess. He kind of bailed for Golden State, but
who among us?
We will accept your sponsorship, no less. Thank you, sir. We now transition to a high growth area of the business, reframing outcomes.
This is the moral victories division, no matter how much Dick Vitale says it doesn't exist, where results are negotiable, but effort is aggressively highlighted.
All right, Trevor, who do you have for our employee of the week?
So last week, it was the guy in the crowd singing Goo Goo Dolls at the top of his lungs. I really enjoyed him. He was an all-timer. So shout out. This week, it is none other than the Dallas Stars starting goalie, Jake Ottinger, who was this past week the NHL's second star. So they recognize 3 top players every week, and he was their second star. He had 3 wins, no losses, had a .265 goals against average. But most importantly, last night we played. The Dallas Stars are in second place in the league, second place in our division, and they played the top team in the Colorado Avalanche. He only gave up 1 goal in Colorado and helped the Dallas Stars move into only 2 points behind the Avalanche with something like a dozen games left. So it's still possible to get that top spot and avoid the Minnesota Wild in the first round, which would be great. So shout out to Jake Ottinger. We appreciate you, Otter.
That's what's up. My employee of the week. So, Trevor, you asked, who is that Dallas Mavericks player that tanked all over the Cavaliers? And I lied. I know who it is.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
John Poulakaitis of the Dallas Mavericks. In his second game ever for the Mavericks, he showed up, laced them up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, shot 67% from the field, 50% from three. It was only 10 points, but he in the third quarter, I thought, couldn't miss.
Good
I don't know what was
gracious.
going on. They beat the Cavs 130 to 120.
Dumb.
John Poulakaitis, he sounds like someone that Giannis Antetokounmpo
Yes.
yells at on the Greece team to shoot more. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know who he
exactly what
is.
that sounds like. Yes. Shoot the ball, John. Man, shout out.
Yes.
Nice win.
Congratulations,
nice
John.
win. Love to recognize. Well, those findings will be circulated as this week's internal winners.
Recognition has been issued, expectations have been adjusted, and accountability has been deferred. Before we head into the deep dive, a word from our last sponsor. Here we go. From the executive producers of Gold Rush, Moonshiners, Alaskan Bush People, and Expedition Bigfoot, Discovery Channel presents Chasing Bliff.
It's here.
An epic quest where Zach and Trevor risk everything to discover Bliff, a color that has never been seen before by human eyes. Through treacherous mountains, storm-tossed seas, and uncharted jungles, no map and no rules stand in their way. Dodging rock slides, diving into turquoise waters, and braving the unknown, they chase the impossible. A color that shouldn't exist. Exhausted, exhilarated, and relentless, their journey will push them to the edge of imagination. Chasing Bliff, only on Discovery.
Oh, yes, it's here. Chasing Bliff in a screen near you. Oh my God. Bliff, we have been talking about Bliff for coming up on 20 years.
Oh yeah, easy.
Like
Easy.
What if there was a color that shouldn't exist, but we found it?
Yeah, it's outside of the color wheel.
Yes.
You wouldn't know it
Nope.
until you see it.
You can't describe it. It's a new color, and we're gonna find it.
And we're going to explore the world on Discovery's check. So thank you, Discovery, for the sponsorship.
Just who wouldn't want to watch us travel around the world and explain to different peoples of the world that no, we're looking for a new color? The confusion on their faces as our poor
What the
interpreter has to translate everything.
We need to go through the Amazon rainforest.
That's
sir.
where we start. Where Bliff's in there. I know it's in there. It's probably under a tree, maybe in a cave. Oh,
Tune in.
I love it. Heck yes. I'm so glad that made it to the pod. Thank you, Chasing Bliff, for your sponsorship. So glad you made it to air. Can't wait to watch the first episode and be a part of that. But now it is time for the deep dive.
This is where we stop reacting and start digging.
Take one organization, strip away all the noise, and examine the full operational miserable picture.
And that's right, Trevor. The operational picture for this team is bleak. We are going to cover them very briefly. They are in the MLB, and it is none other than the Colorado Rockies.
Colorado Rockies.
Founded in 1993 in Denver, Colorado.
That's it?
1993.
What?
So they came in with the Florida Marlins, now Miami Marlins.
Ooh.
Yep. Close to the Rocky Mountains. So they were like, hey, let's call it the Rockies. Okay. And they actually had a really good start, like from an attendance and an operational perspective. They were number one in attendance for the first 5 years. They come out hot.
Holy cow.
Real hot.
People are amped.
AAA team, I thought this was just funny. Albuquerque Isotopes. Isotopes is a chemistry term. Same number of protons, but different number of neutrons.
Okay, and we can't
Albuquerque-
find funders for Bliff. We got the Albuquerque isotopes out here. Are you kidding me? Jeez.
We're gonna find Bliff.
We will
I'll be
find it. It
damned if
will
we don't.
happen. A peek behind the curtain for our listeners. My wife hates it. Hates
Oh,
it when
yeah,
we
that's-
talk about
yeah, my
Bliff,
wife
which
too, no
which
doubt.
makes us talk about it more. So I can't wait till she hears this.
Oh man. So looking overall at the Rockies, right? So everybody's excited. Number one in attendance in the MLB for the first 5 years. From 1993 to today, they have made the postseason 5 times.
Oh, that's
5.
not good.
They
So
made
we're
it to the World Series
30
once.
years. Holy cow.
Yep. Made it to the World Series once in 2007, completely swept by the Boston Red Sox. They have, Trevor, they have never won their division in those years since 1993.
Oh my gosh.
Their all-time record is basically 46% win percentage. So 2,300 wins, 2,700 losses. Brutal.
Yeah.
The only person that I really remember, right, when we were playing those old video games on N64 was Todd Helton.
Todd freaking
He's the only one that
Helton.
you
Yeah,
pitched away
baby.
from him because
Yep.
he would crush it.
He would absolutely crush it. You're not pitching to Todd Helton.
No.
Dang. That is so sad. I mean, that's a really tough division with the Dodgers and the Giants. Like, those were some good teams out there. So I guess that part makes sense. The Diamondbacks won a World Series in there. But dang,
Yeah.
5 times in 33 years. That's tough.
And you would think like you would luck into it, kind of like the Diamondbacks, right? Where you just assemble a super team randomly and then they'd get bought out, but it never happened. 5 postseason appearances. Brutal.
Yeah, that's tough. I remember Todd Helton. I remember Troy Tulowitzki. That name comes to mind.
Uh-huh.
He was great, but in terms of other big Rocky names, I got nothing for you.
No. So they are welcome in Misery Sports Co. Tough. If you're a Rockies fan, God bless you. We have our own teams very similar to that. They do not produce.
Mm-mm.
And that's what, Misery Sports Co. is all about, is finding these teams, finding these fan bases, giving you a salute because it's been bleak. I hope that this year is better, but looking at the pattern doesn't look great.
Probably not. But good for them starting a team and having such high attendance at the start. At least doesn't it help? Wouldn't you say that it helps to at least pack the stadium for Browns fans and see them go crazy every game? That has to
No
help.
doubt. Yeah, there's a lot of passion. Now, did Denver's attendance after those first 5 years follow? Maybe not, but
yeah,
we'll see. If you build a winner, they will come.
Yeah.
Right? You just need competitive baseball.
And I feel like
That's all you need.
I always was it either Mike Piazza baseball or Ken Griffey baseball, one of the two. I think it was Piazza. I would play in that stadium a lot because I feel like they had like a forest scene in the outfield bleachers. Like they had a really cool stadium. Like Kansas City was the GOAT for me because they had a waterfall. Like I loved the waterfall. It was so cool. But I distinctly remember Colorado having like a cool nature scene out there or something. So at least they had a cool stadium. They got that going.
Yeah. And I think if you were there as a home fan, you saw more home runs. I think the stadium was designed in such a way that there were more home runs naturally, but then also being in Denver a mile high, right? You're going to hit more homers. So
ball's going to go.
It's more entertaining. Yeah.
Ball's going to go.
So that is the Colorado Rockies.
Well, thanks for that deep dive, Zach. Some answers were found. I don't think the fans found very many and continue to search for answers.
Yeah, it's a little rough. That wraps this week's episode, though, where expectations were missed, explanations were stretched, and accountability remained optional.
We'll continue tracking developments, compiling data, and questioning how any of this makes sense.
Join us next week for more findings, fewer answers, and the same underlying issues. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, hit a subscription at your Apple Podcast, Pocket Cast, Spotify, you name it. Give us a subscribe, say hey.
And remember, performance is temporary, but misery lasts a lifetime.